We should be live, although there'll be a bit of a delay. Let me see here. And we are live.
Hi, everybody. I'm just typing. You just talk amongst yourselves. Roll call. One
Nice.
moment. 1 moment. Give me 30 seconds here.
Let me get the chat room up. Hello, chat room. Hey, not the daughter. Oh, wait, it is the daughter this time.
Is it the daughter? Oh, shh.
Wait.
Shh. No, Steve. Okay, roll call. We have Seamus and Kevin and Jason and Mike and Jill and Lindsay, the daughter. Hi, Lindsay. And we've got John and Rose and Sandy and Steve and Michael and Al. How is everybody today?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine.
How come I'm getting noises here?
Are you getting noises?
Yeah.
Is it
yes,
me
I did
talking?
watch the. Yes, I did watch the splashdown, John. It was glorious. It was perfect. I'm a bit surprised how smoothly Orion, well, the Artemis 1 mission went overall. It was, from what I've heard, nearly flawless. Very few things went awry, if any. Nothing major. They were all little things. Splashdown close to your house, Linz.
That's right.
Well,
it was in San Diego.
Well, it was a little south of that. It was actually closer to Baja, but it was pretty close to San Diego.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something else fun happened in San Diego. Will Ferrell showed up on stage at his son's band was playing, and he came out on stage and played cowbell on it.
Yes.
It was so funny.
He had
if you
the
haven't
fever.
seen the more cowbell thing.
And the prescription.
And it was in San Diego, right?
I think it was.
All right. Should I get started?
Probably should.
I don't have too much to read, but one's a challenging one. By the way, I missed, for anybody being confused, my whole thing on cord cutting part 2 is moved out to next week because there wasn't enough room in the show.
Got it.
Bobcat Goldthwait in town. Wow. All right. Are we ready?
I think so.
Places? All right. Muting Steve. Hi, I see what's wrong. That's what was bothering me. Sound isn't starting at the beginning, and so I don't know when to start talking. Okay, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, December 11th, 2022, and this is show number 918. Well, before we get too far into the show, I have a couple of announcements. There will be no live show on Christmas Day. So we'll be here next week, but not on Christmas Day. Now, we might do on a New Year's Day, depending on how things work out, because that's, as Sandy points out, maybe some people will be hungover, but most people probably not doing anything on that Sunday night. Anyway, I'll announce this again next week, but I think you'll probably be able to remember that there won't be a live show on Christmas. I also want to remind you to send in your I'm Still Using It contributions. I have a fair number of them, but I'm nervous that it will be enough to give us a full show for the show on Christmas Day that I've got to do early. The idea of I'm Still Using It is to tell us a story about a piece of software or hardware that you're still using after a very long time. And why? Most importantly, why? A lot of people are sending me things. I'm still using this, but I'd like, why? What is the thing you use it for? And that'd be, I have to ask follow-on questions. So if you can just give it to me in one, that's even better. By the way, it could even be a podcast you're still listening to after many, many years. The way you can get yours read on the show is by sending me an email at allison@podfeed.com with the title, I'm Still Using It. Now, getting the title right is important because I've got a smart folder, a smart mailbox that shoves them all in there. And if you don't do it quite right, I might miss yours. Okay, here's the last announcement. If you get any free time over the holidays, I have another ask of you. On January 17th, Steve and I are off to Antarctica for a couple of weeks. Bart and Alistair have volunteered to hold down the fort in my absence, which means we are going to be needing listener reviews for the middle of January. If you get any cool gadgets as gifts over the holidays, or maybe you treat yourself to a nap that you've had your eye on for a long time, anything you think is fun and nerdy would be great for the show. Alistair and Bart are kind enough to do this so that our streak of coming up on 18 years without interruption can be maintained. I sure hope you'll think of a way to step in and help. All righty. Save. And yeah, Antarctica. So within 6 months, we will have been in the Arctic Circle, the tropics, and the Antarctic Circle, which is hard to say.
Whirlwind.
Yep. Let's see.
We'll see how the chapter markers are working here.
Yeah, who knows? It's a wonderful thing to find out every time. I said a fair amount. I have a fair number of them. I said it correctly, but I typed it incorrectly.
No, the moon is not next. That may be a few years down the line, Mike.
Not that we wouldn't do it if we could, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how we're feeling today. Do you feel lucky?
I think it's
going to sound. Yes, it's going to work. The way I know it's going to work is if I hear two sounds, because if I hear the second sound, that means it's waiting for me. Worked.
Cool.
No idea why. All right, here we go. Well, I had a lot of fun this week being a guest on the Clockwise podcast with hosts Micah Sargent and Dan Morin, along with with guest John Moles. We talked about what we would ask OpenAI's ChatGPT and where those things might go wrong. We talked about Apple's new App Store price points, and we talked about the never-ending Apple car rumors. My question for Clockwise was about time-consuming automations we've written, and to both of our amusement, Micah and I had the same exact silly automation, and we had both had them written for us by different people. Check out episode 480 of the Clockwise podcast at the link in the show notes, which are visible in your podcatcher of choice, and they're also available at podfeed.com. The automation we both had written was we both have an automation shortcut that tells us what the next episode number is, which means the purpose of the shortcut is to find out what the latest episode is. Neither of us can do it reliably without our shortcut.
918.
Well, sure, you know that now, but what is it next week?
919.
How am I supposed to know that? I mean, that's crazy talk. There we go. I got a chapter mark and I saved. We have a lot of announcements here. Okay, so
yeah, that Casey list was good. I guess that's coming up here.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about a couple other things first. Here we go. My latest tutorial is up on Screencast Online, and it's about a terrific tool called Touch Retouch for iOS and iPadOS and the Mac. Touch Retouch does a fantastic job of removing unwanted objects in your images, even with your big fat fingers on an iPhone, and it's only $4 US on iOS. I've been using Touch Retouch for years and years, but I had no idea how capable it was until I researched the app fully to create the video tutorial for Screencast Online. I did review it for the podcast many years ago, but I learned so much more doing the video tutorial. Now, there's also a Touch Retouch app for the Mac, which is more expensive and oddly somewhat less capable. But if you have an Apple Silicon Mac, you can run the $4 iPad version and get all of the capabilities. In the tutorial, I demonstrate the similarities and differences, so you get to see it running on all platforms. Now, I'm going to give you my usual disclaimer. Screencast Online Tutorials is a subscription podcast and magazine, and it provides real training on how to use tools. There is a free 7-day trial where you can get access to the back catalog to see if it's a service you might like. But it's a dangerous trial because I can pretty much guarantee you'll find value in the tutorials from all of the different tutors, so don't even check it out if you're worried that you might like it. Ready? Close that one down. Is it time for two chit chats across the pond?
Ooh.
Actually, I gotta tee that up before I do I could just do this one. That's okay. Grumpy I noticed I've been running running these too close together. I went back and listened to one of my shows and I was like, wow, I just like bang, 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 bang. I need a little more gap in between them. I'm always trying to hurry up and jump in quickly, but I think I need a little more time. All right. We actually have 2 Chit Chats across the pond this week. On one of them, Chit Chat Across the Pond number 754, we're joined by developer Casey Liss of the Accidental Tech Podcast and creator of the iOS apps Masquerade and PikaView. I asked Casey to come on the show to talk about automation. In particular, we talked about unnecessary or overly complex automations that mysteriously run, but we can't remember how or why they're running, automations we're really proud of, and finally, darn it, these just make me happy automations. It is a great conversation. It's a lot of fun. And if you haven't heard Casey Liss describe how he created an automation to know whether his garage door is open or not, you have got to listen to this episode of Chit Chat Across the Pond. You can, of course, find Chit Chat Across the Pond episode 754 with Casey Liss in your podcatcher of choice. All right. He is a delightful man. I really like him.
Yep.
Did you listen to it?
I sure did.
And you liked it?
On our walk to the beach.
Oh, that's right. You liked HomePod Nick the best, though, right?
That was superb.
I thought so, too. I mean, everything has been a letdown ever since because he was just so freaking fun. Loved him. That episode made me laugh. Jill says that episode made her laugh. She was on a plane and people stared at her. Well, Jason liked it, too. Good. Oh, Sandy, you haven't heard the one with HomePod Nick.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a really fun one. Let's see.
He's good people. So's Casey.
Yeah, that was the surprise, though. I expected him to be a nerd, and he was a nerd, but he's a really nice young man. I just really, really, really liked him. For our second Chit Chat Across the Pond this week, we have an installment of Programming by Stealth. In this episode, Bart officially kicks off the XKPassWD JavaScript project. This is what we've been waiting for. As I said to Bart at the end of our recording, we're no longer fixing to make a plan. We actually have a plan now. The show notes for this episode point to the README file for the official GitHub project. Bart explains in the podcast that we'll have a project skeleton phase where Bart will define the code that has to be ported from Perl to JavaScript. And then he'll build the guidelines that will help us work as a team of contributors. This means things like a style guide, automated scripts to build the project, and configuration files for all of the tooling. Now, he has a vision that we're going to work on the direct port next with no enhancements during the direct port phase. I tried to get him to take a dollar bet on whether that goal will be achieved, but he did not fall for it. After that, we'll go into maintenance mode. So those are the 3 phases. Anyway, this is a fun episode because we are finally moving forward after learning all of the tools we'll need to make this project a success. You can find Bart's show notes that point to the README at pbs.bartificer.net. Oh, I'm going to say one more thing. Now, at the end of that episode, or in the middle, the beginning, somewhere in that episode, I'm pretty sure I promised transcripts of that episode. And I don't know why, but the auto-generated transcripts I talked about last week did not work. And I've got a note into the developer of Phonic, and I'm hoping he can help me still get that transcript. But I don't have it yet. So that's one that would be really good to have a transcript for because the show notes don't really talk to exactly what he talked about. But anyway, I'm still working on it. Okay.
What aspect it didn't work at all, or it failed partway through, or what? Can you say anything about how it failed?
So in Auphonic, you create these presets, and I have a preset for Programming by Stealth, one for Chit Chat Across the Pond, and one for the NosillaCast. And when in the preset, you define all kinds of things like what's the name of the show, what's the logo look like, what are all the ID3 tags that go through it, how do you want the audio leveled, how do you want the loudness leveled, all those things are in the preset. But there's also a step where you add that you want to have a transcript created. And on some of the podcasts, I told it, just give me everything you do with transcripts. And I think it's 3 or 4 files. And on this one, I said, well, I don't really want all of those files because one of them, there's a JSON file. I don't even know what to do with that. So I chose not to get it. And I think that might have broken its ability to actually make the transcript, because it did all of the audio stuff, but there are no transcript files at all. It just didn't do it.
What's the penalty of just selecting all? Just cruft developing?
Well, yeah, it's just a file I don't need to be generated, but
a small
there
price
isn't
to
a way
pay
to.
if it makes it work.
I don't know that that's why. I'm just saying that's a difference. And so I've got a note into him where I showed him the one that's working, the one that didn't, and I don't know why. And I'm asking him. I also can't edit it to do that. I would have to delete the whole preset. There's a lot of work in that preset. I could do it, but Jill says it seems to need that. It seems to need you to check all of them. It doesn't make any sense though. Why would it need to create a JSON file in order to create an HTML file? It wouldn't make any sense to me, but maybe.
Could just be how they implemented it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. While she answers me, you can run it again too with the old presets. Yeah, it seems like but I don't have a preset that has all of them. My preset only has the 2, and you can't delete or edit that part of the preset. You have to delete the entire preset and start over, which I didn't really want to do. Plus, I want to find out why first. Okay, this is going to be a short one. It's going to be a lot of chapter marks. I'm up to 5 already. But they're cheap, right? Just a little bitty post. I was chatting with my buddy Niraj this week, and he thanked me for putting him on distribution for emails whenever I wrote a blog post. I told him I never did that, and I didn't have any idea how he was getting them. I asked him to send me one of the emails he gets, and from that, I was able to figure out backwards how these little treats were coming to him. At the bottom of every blog post I make, there's a comment box. Below the comment box are 2 checkboxes. The first says, notify me of follow-up comments by email. This is handy if you make a comment and you want to know if anybody responded to you. It only sends you emails if you give it your address, and only for that one post if someone else comments. But the second checkbox says, notify me of new posts by email. Apparently, Niraj had checked that somewhere along the line. So if you'd like to have hand-delivered notifications of all of my blog posts, just like Niraj, check the notify me of new blog post by email box, and your dreams will come true. You'll not only see all of the blog posts I create, but you'll also get security bits by Bart Shots. And if other contributors write their blog posts like Alistair often does, you'll get those as well. Now, I should mention that you don't get the entire blog post in the email. You get the title and the excerpt, and then a link to the website to read the rest. The funny part of this is that I had no idea I'd even enabled this feature. I have a plugin called Jetpack from the fine folks at WordPress.com that has a lot of features, and buried in all those settings, I found that I had enabled this right in there. If it sounds fun to you, check the box, and if it gets tiresome after a while, there's an unsubscribe link in every single email. I wish I'd realized I had done this when I was talking to Casey about automations that run and we don't know why. This would have been a good one to add to that list. Does anybody else get that? I did not know. Maybe that process Podfeet was talking about to track when post made the way to a podcast has a bug. Post made, I don't know what that means. I think he's making a joke because he had a winky face. Sienna keeps talking to me. Oh, hi, Sienna. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Sienna. Please tell me she's doing it back to me, Lindsay. Get a screenshot.
Mike, I looked and I didn't see that topic in 917, NosillaCast 917.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so I did write it a long time ago, but I don't think I read it.
Maybe you referred to putting it in and pulled it out.
He swears he heard it. Okay, well, let's check.
Well, maybe it was earlier than 917. I just went back.
So I talked about transcripts in 917, but no, I didn't. I wrote it on the 1st of December.
So that would have been in 917.
Well, it could have been that. Yeah, that
because
just would have been 9/17.
previous was November
Oh, Sandy thinks
27th.
she heard it too.
Well,
But
if you
Sandy,
heard
you
it,
read everything.
please let us know where you heard it if you did.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to have a chapter mark, wouldn't it? Let me check.
It would have to be a post.
Well, it is a post.
That's what I'm saying. And all your posts are listed unless you didn't include the post in the
Let's see.
blog.
Let me look at 9/17.
I'm looking. I don't see it.
I didn't appreciate. Okay. Announcing transcripts for all the podcasts. Are you sure you aren't thinking about transcripts?
Transcripts.
Could that be it? Oh, she blathered back. Oh, good. Sienna's the best. She's so funny. I'm just going to talk to Sienna from now on. All right. Let's see. What was I going to work on next?
Chapter mark?
Yes, I need a chapter mark, but I got to go figure out what I'm going to chapter mark about. This is it. If anybody can confirm that it exists in the previous one, it's easy enough for me to cut it back out. But not transcripts. Okay. It was supposed to be in last week's, but I pulled it because I had too much content.
It could have been one of those ones you were talking about and you had it in, but you pulled it so people might. But I don't think you even didn't read it.
I definitely don't remember reading it. And I usually when this happens, I go, hey, this sounds familiar. There are some typos in that one, but oh well. Okay. Kevin doesn't recall it. You know, there's a mind like a steel trap, right?
Hey.
Okay. Okay, this is a long one. Here we go. Do you remember when you first heard about Twitter? Remember thinking it sounded silly and you didn't think it had any legs? Remember thinking the word tweet sounded idiotic? Do you remember finally joining Twitter and then being baffled by it, wondering, why is everybody so excited about this? And remember wondering, well, wait, but who do I follow? How do I find people? This is so confusing. I bet you're having those same concerns about Mastodon. If tweet sounded silly, how about toot? That's what it's called when you post on Mastodon. My goal in this story is to make Mastodon a bit less baffling, to offer a bit of advice on how to proceed on a few parts of it, and how to just have some fun. I'm having a really good time on Mastodon. It's fresh and new, and people are especially interactive. I encourage you to go in and kick the tires a bit and see if it's a service that might make you happy. I don't know if it's going to unseat Twitter in the end, but for right now, it's a very pleasant place to hang out and have some fun while we wait for the dust to settle on Twitter. As hard as it was to wrap our collective brains around Twitter, Mastodon does add a nice little extra layer of complexity. Before you can join Mastodon, you have to decide which instance you're going to join. Now, an instance is just a fancy name for a server. But get this, it doesn't matter which instance you join. Okay, hang on. The typos that Sandy had me fix in this did not. Let me pull those because I know she fixed some of those. I got to that one where there was a period in the middle of a sentence. So I knew that was not the right one. There you go. Oh, you stealing my punchline, Steve? Oh, Steve, I need your Mastodon link. Post it in Discord. And I want to read it when I get there. So hopefully not too much will go by. I'll put it in the show notes too. Now I say this for a couple of reasons. The most important of which is, wrong cadence. I say that for a couple of reasons. The most important of which is if you decide at any time you don't like the instance you're on, you could just move. When you move, you don't lose any followers and you don't lose the people you've chosen to follow. I accidentally created 2 accounts on different server instances over time, and I was able to freeze one of them and make it an alias to the other one. And that combined my followers and the people I was following on the 2 accounts all into one. No one was the wiser. No one knew that I moved servers or I combined servers. So it's pretty easy to move. A little bit nerdy, but not too hard. Now on Twitter, you follow specific people, and you can look at things like trending or follow a hashtag. And you can do the exact same thing from all Mastodon servers because they're federated. By federated, that means that while different people are managing all of these different servers, you can still find people and trending topics on all servers. If you want to chat with a small group of people with a specialized interest, then choosing a server that specializes in that topic might make sense. But I think for most people, I'd suggest choosing a server with wide interests rather than specialized. Here's why I give that one caveat about not choosing a server that's too specialized. When I suggested to Steve that he might want to look into Mastodon, we talked about what instance he should join. He's super into astronomy, so I suggested the instance astrodon.social. It's been great, but it actually put him into an odd position. While he really likes astronomy, he doesn't just like astronomy. If he wants to post about physics, well, that's probably still of interest to that community. But what if he wants to post a picture of how we restained our back fence or of our dog Tesla looking goofy? Seems kind of out of place. Now, some servers have had to cut off adding people because the influx has been so massive, but don't be discouraged by that. You could try the server that Bart went on, and it's mstdn.social. It's mstdn.social, and I put a link in the show notes. Or you could try the geek-oriented one, hachyderm.io, or you could just go to joinmastodon.org, close your eyes, and pick one. But remember, it doesn't matter if you change your mind later. You can just move. So what does it actually mean to be part of an instance? And what does that have to do with who you follow? Stephen Getz asked this very question, and I think I came up with a good analogy to try to explain it. Let's say you and your cousin go to different high schools. You can talk to your cousin and find out what's going on in their lives, and they can tell you what their high school friends are doing, but you can't see everything going on in their high school. You can, however, see everything that's going on in your own high school. On Mastodon, someone you're following is like your cousin in the other high school. It doesn't matter if you and I are on different instances, we can follow each other and we miss nothing. The people you follow can expose you to things going on their server, like their high school, and you can see everything going on in your own server, your high school. I hope that analogy helped explain how you can be on different servers and still see toots by the other people. So let's say you've closed your eyes and blindly chosen an instance to join. Just like when you join Twitter, your first question is how to find people to follow, and especially, how do you find the people you are already following on Twitter? Because so many people are either abandoning Twitter altogether or at least hedging their bets by testing out Mastodon, something wonderful has happened. People have all started putting their Mastodon accounts into their Twitter profiles. Now, full Mastodon name is @yourhandle@yourinstance. So you can write it as your instance /@yourhandle, like chaos.social/@podfeed. This all makes a lot more sense if you see it in writing, like on my website, but we're going to make it even easier than that. Now, while it's great that people are putting their Mastodon handles into their profiles on Twitter, imagine how tedious it would be to comb through all of the people you follow on Twitter, going into their profiles and finding out whether or not they had put their Mastodon profile in there, their Mastodon link, I guess it is. Let's say you even had the patience to do that one time. What if the next day someone on your list adds their Mastodon info? Are you going to comb through all of the people you follow every day to see whether they've added their Mastodon information? Of course not. That's where the internet comes in to help again. There's a fabulous tool at movetodon.org that solves this pesky problem. When you go to Move to Don, you'll be asked to give authorization to the tool to access both your Twitter and Mastodon accounts. This is exactly the same kind of step that you go through when you install a Twitter app. It has to have authority to allow it to pull the info from your accounts. Once you've authorized the tool, it will show you a very nicely formatted list of people it has found. You can see their avatar, their name, their Twitter account, and their full Mastodon account. If you hover over this area, you'll even get a pop-up showing you their full bio. This will help you remember who they are and whether you still think they're interesting. Now, you can see when they joined Mastodon and how long they've been active on the service. But the important thing is, to the far right of each name it finds, you'll see a big purple follow button to follow the person on Mastodon. If you've already followed them, the button will say following. That's awesome. This makes it super easy to follow people, and you can just go back to the page and refresh it once in a while to find more folks. Now, they also provide a follow all button, but I recommend against this. Consider this like a nuke and pave opportunity. you're really starting fresh. So I suggest looking at each person you follow and questioning, do they actually give you joy? If they don't, just skip them and look for those who do. Now, Bart said on Let's Talk Apple that he has really culled his Mastodon list down from what he was following on Twitter, and I've done the same. I'm not following angry people. I'm not following people who don't give me joy, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm enjoying Mastodon so much. So let's talk about a couple of basics of Mastodon. I mentioned earlier that instead of tweeting, you toot. Now, some people are trying to change the word toot to post. That's boring. I think tooting is fun, and I think it's going to stick. When you retweet on Twitter, it means that you're exposing the clever tweet you saw to the people who follow you. On Mastodon, that action is called boosting. Right now, when so many new folks are looking for accounts to follow, boosting is super important on Mastodon. I follow April Menendez on Mastodon. Really recommend following her, and her link, her Mastodon link is in the show notes. And she follows a lot of great photographers. When she sees an image she likes, she boosts it. So now I see them in my feed, and I can find photographers I might want to follow. It's a chain of happiness. Now, here's the interesting thing. On Twitter, you can quote tweet. So that's retweeting while also commenting. But on Mastodon, you can only boost or comment, not both at the same time. This was an intentional choice by the founder of Mastodon, Eugene Rochko. He felt that quote tweeting encouraged toxicity because your comment is targeted at your audience. It doesn't go to the person who created the original tweet. With comments, you have to talk directly to the person who wrote the toot, which he hopes will encourage more civilized behavior. I see his point, but I do find so many times I really want to tell people why I'm boosting a toot, why I think it's interesting or funny, or what memory it surfaced. I can boost a toot, which is just fun to say. That's why I keep saying it. And I can make a comment, so I can do both. And that way, I suppose my followers might still see the comment. Now, there don't appear to be any great clients out there for Mastodon just yet. But Tapbots, the makers of Tweetbot, are hard at work on a Mastodon client called Ivory. I'm not in the public beta yet, but those on the private beta say it's pretty awesome. For now, I'm using MetaText on iOS and Mastonaut on the Mac. They're passable, but they seem to be missing some features, but they're okay. But before worrying about getting a dedicated client, I really suggest just log into your instance via the web interface and you'll get a full featured experience. I was originally confused by a few terms when I went into Mastodon, so I'd like to explain them. In all clients and the web interface, you'll see three options: home, local, and then a third one that's either called public or federated. Home is where you can see and read toots and boosts by the people you followed. Think about it as essentially what you would see if you were using a third-party client for Twitter, like Tweetbot. You just see the people you follow. Home is just like that. Local is everyone talking on your server instance. So for Steve with Astrodon.social, that's awesome because it's all astronomy talk and it's relatively small. For me on Chaos.social, it's just completely random. It's just all kinds of topics from people I don't know, and a fair percentage of it is in languages I don't actually speak. So local is kind of like your high school. You may or may not have anything in common with all of those people. If it's a large server, a large high school, the feed might be scrolling past really quickly and not be very interesting. Now, federated/public, depending on which tool you're using, that's where you can see everyone on every instance talking. It's basically a rapidly flowing river of the conversation of the world. And once I found enough people to follow on Move2Don, I've chosen to limit myself to just reading home. It's chatty enough, but not too chatty because I've carefully chosen who I'm going to follow. In fact, it's pretty similar to my Twitter experience, except with less anger. There's also a notification tab, and it tells you when people follow you, star something you tooted, or boost a toot of yours. If you're super popular, that can get a bit noisy, but if you're a regular person, that can be a happy place. Now, through the web interface, if you search for hashtags, you can follow them just as though they were people. I recommend hashtag astronomy for the pretty pictures and maybe some science. The bottom line here is that there's still a lot I need to learn and want to learn about Mastodon, but I'm really enjoying myself. As I said to Bodie Grimm, get on over to Mastodon. It's like Twitter, but way less cranky pants. I hope you'll come over and join us. You can find me at Podfeet at mastodon.social. And let's see, I asked Steve to give me his his account, and I'm going to read it here. I'm vamping as I'm scrolling, and it went past too far. Here it is. He is at SP Sheridan at astrodon.social. I'm pretty sure if you just search for at SP Sheridan, there's probably not a lot of those. And if you find the one at astrodon.social, that's Steve. And if he moves to a different server, it won't matter. Once you follow him, you'll be connected to him. I highly recommend following Steve. He's a very interesting person to follow. He has lots of varied interests, and they're pretty cool stuff. And he's never cranky pants, at least on Twitter.
Well, thank you. At least on Twitter.
I didn't say that in the recording.
Mastodon.
I only said that amongst us girls here.
I know. Thanks for the plug.
And
as be it as it may.
Let's see. I got a square bracket at SP Sheridan at Mastodon. No. What's that?
Lindsay's, I kept thinking, I tutored in the library.
Oh my gosh. That was actually a friend of Lindsay's father said that. I always think of Pete. Astrodon.social. Oh, if I got this right, it'll be a miracle. I'm writing quick. Astrodon.social, is that right? No, it's not astrodon.social. Shoot, what was it? .org?
It is astrodon.social. At SP Sheridan at astrodon.social.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
You're looking at what you typed?
I'm looking at my Mastodon profile.
Okay, why is it not working? At SP Sheridan at astrodon.social.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean not working?
Oh, I know it. I wrote the link wrong. It's supposed to be astrodon.social. It's supposed to be HEBS://
Where are you typing this? Is this in the show notes?
Yeah. Sheridan. Let me try that. Oh, come on. Can't find astrodon.social.
Really? How are you spelling Astrodon?
Astrondon. Do I have to spell it right too?
ASTR.
I think I got it.
Not on.
Finally, Astrodon. There it is. See, he's even got a really pretty picture. Who took that picture, Steve?
Which one?
Your banner photo.
Oh, my profile pic? It is.
I did.
Think that wasn't from the quadcopter, huh?
No, it's a picture of the quadcopter. The quadcopter's in the photo.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right. She butt burped. That's good. Kevin. Okay. So, I need to send that up. I think there's more typos in it, but
I caught their typo, which I fixed. Their high school, it was THERE.
That's just gotten written over then.
Okay.
You'll need to fix it again because I just overwrote it probably. I did a THERE mix up.
And no space with high school. Their high was one word.
That's the one I saw. Yeah, and I didn't get. So if you can refresh, you'd have to fix it again.
All right.
So let's see. Copy link. No, you have to be in the right tool when you press the button. That wasn't the button's fault. Don't worry.
Operator.
Yep. The show. Oh, I wrote a good one this week. Frank will be proud. Here we go. Would you like to have ad-free versions of all of the shows from the Podfeet podcast? Would you like to have free access to our Discord server for the live shows? Would you like to be able to chat anytime you like with other NosillaCastaways in our Slack? You can have all of this without paying a dime. There are no paywalls to have fun talking tech at the Podfeet podcast. All of this is brought to you by the generous people who support the show by either giving a one-time donation at podfeet.com/PayPal or becoming a patron at podfeet.com/Patreon. If you appreciate having no paywalls to have fun with the shows, please consider becoming a supporter voluntarily. Lindsay says, am I supposed to be paying for something? Good. I hope that caught people off guard.
All this time, Lindsay, you haven't been? My goodness.
Freeloader. You should become a patron.
What a mooch.
Mooch. Definitely. All right. So now, where are we? Security bits. Tiny tip. No, dump card. Security bits. There it is. Ambiance. It sounded like a threat. Show me a 10-foot paywall. I'll show you a 12-foot ladder.
Well said.
All right. Hey, I have a question. I want some tech help while we're at this. Open up Safari and open 2 tabs to 2 different things.
Are you talking to me?
Everybody. I want everybody to test this for me and tell me what is going on. Oh, wait. First, you have to hear Bart say blink. Blink.
Oh, that was a precise one.
Oh, I got another one for you.
Did you have Casey do one?
Here, yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
Here you go. Here's Casey.
Plink.
It's a good one, huh?
2-syllable plink. Wow.
Plink.
It's like please.
Exactly. He got into the spirit of it.
He did.
Okay, so does everybody have 2 tabs open in Safari who's going to play along?
I do.
What I want you to do, what you used to be able to do, is take one of the tabs and drag it off, and it would become a new tab. But now,
a new tab? You mean a new window?
It would become. I'm sorry, it would become a new window.
Yes. Yeah, mine's doing.
When I drag mine off, it leaves the same tab available on the 2 tab, and then it creates a new one, and I can have one or the other. But as I click back and forth, the same tab is in 2 places. Is that just me?
I'm not following what your problem is. Maybe because I had the same thing open on both tabs.
I told you 2 different things. You could pay attention to the instructions.
I had 2 tabs open. They were open to the same thing.
And I told you open 2 tabs to 2 different things.
Ah, didn't hear that.
Really? Really?
Okay, have done that.
Okay, so drag one tab off.
Yep.
And does it just become its own window and the other window only has 1 tab?
No. Oh, you didn't say that it could only be part of 1 tab in the first window.
Safari.
I'm in Safari.
A window with 2 tabs on it. No other tabs.
No
just
other
2 tabs.
tabs.
And the 2 tabs they're 2 independent things.
Okay, got it.
Okay. You take the second one of the tab you can see and drag it off. Do you now have 2 windows with only 1 thing on each thing?
Yes.
On each window.
Yes.
Mine has gotten screwed up. I'm going to demo it when we're done.
You got some bug going on there.
It is so weird and it's driving me banana pants. Wow, Bart and I had a big lag on. Look at this. Look at this, you guys. That's me lining up my audio track. The bottom 2 are Bart recorded. The upper 2 I recorded. Look how different his voice is from mine. That is a big delay difference. I'm really going to have to figure out where to slide. So I get rid of Bart there, and I get rid of me there, and then I drag this one up. Let me drag it straight up just so I see where it goes. That is a big lag.
I'm surprised
surprised I didn't notice in real life.
No, that you got rid of it before you aligned the first one. You had a reference to align to.
I don't. Which one's right?
Oh,
you think one of them's right? No, you got to just listen to it.
I assumed one was right, but maybe not.
Well, I don't know. Which one would be right? Which one would you pick? I think it's too far over. I think it's going to be more like. Boy, those look like giant gaps, don't they? What are we looking at today, Bart?
Do you own a Eufy camera?
Yes.
If you do, then it's a mess. If you don't, you're fine.
And it's not necessarily a mess. And I'll tell you why when we get to that.
I will need a lot.
And then he spoils my line. He spoils it.
He spoils it?
Yeah, HomeKit Secure Videos fixes the problem.
But it's a heckin' lot of news, so.
I'm really excited to hear that part. That's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, if I'd been...
Okay,
this sounds pretty lined up. Might want to check the end.
And this is interesting. Yeah, I think I just had it zoomed up so far. It looked bad. Okay, so now you get ready to listen, Steve, and tell me whether the sound is the jingles are the right spot. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time.
Maybe
little early, huh?
Little early. Half second.
Half a second?
There you go. No more.
That's not a half a second. That's like a 16th of a second. Well, it's that time of the week again. Okay, good. Banana Pants. Maybe I made that one up. Al.
You may have. I'm not sure
I
heard
said
it
it to
before
my brother the other day, and he was like, "What?"
There's Crazy Pants, but Banana Pants, I don't know.
Yeah. What did Bart say at the end? And nothing. Okay.
You're winding down, relaxing, and we will talk to you soon. And until then, remember to stay patched so you stay secure.
Okay, so it's not just me, Jason. Source of a lot of difference. Hey, where's Ed?
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Mr.
I texted
Ed.
him a couple of days ago and he hasn't responded. Maybe he's mad at me because I took forever. Wait, shop Target for banana pants. I need some banana pants. Steve, if anybody needs a Christmas idea.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm writing that one down. Lindsay.
All right.
Don't you take it.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to wind this up. Well, in theory, there will be a transcript of this episode, including security bits, so you can hear all of the lively discussion read all of the lively discussion we had there. I suppose you just heard it. Anyway, I hope it works. Like I said, I'm having a problem with the one of the chit chat ones. So anyway, in any case, it is going to wind us up for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com? Do you know what you're going to email me? You're going to email me with the title, I'm still using it, and tell me a story about something you're still using and why. And start working on those reviews for Alistair and Bart. They're really going to need those. If you have a question or suggestion, you can also send those on over. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm not tweeting very much, so maybe you want to just jump on over to Mastodon, where you can read everything I do at Podfeet at chaos.social. If you want to join in the fun of the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack, where you can talk to me and all of the other lovely NosillaCastaways. You might be noticing a pattern here. Everything good starts with podfeet.com. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, where next week will be the last 2022 live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nozilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Oh, you think you're done? No, you guys have to see my problem with Safari. Let's see. I got that to do yet. NosillaCast outro. And an enthusiastic Nozilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Okay, we got a call for chapter count, Steve.
Okay, hold your horses.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 if you don't count the transcripts.
Oh.
9.
Yeah, the transcripts isn't. Yeah, the transcripts isn't one.
So how do you?
8 is correct.
Yeah. How do you handle that in the? Would that be in the podcast? What?
I don't understand the question.
So normally you put these chapter marks in, but this would not be one. This would not be a chapter mark in the audio feed, right? This is just just a blog post. Or
it'll be in the show. It'll be in the show notes that you can see where you can click on the links.
Yeah. Hey, Nolan. Thank you.
Nolan F. Tondi. Hi there.
Welcome.
Is Forbes listening too or watching? Hey, buddy. I hope so. All right. So I'm going to export this, and then we're going to do some tech support for Allison right now. That's what we're going to do. So I am going to switch out what I'm sharing, and I'm going to open up Safari. So let me go over here, and I'm going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to start sharing, and I'm going to, whoops, that's not the right button. I'm going to present, and share screen. And I'm going to choose, oh, actually, I better open a window to be shared. Let me get Hindenburg out of the way. I'll bring up Safari and do a new, well, here's another problem. Does Command N create a new window in Safari for you? Because it doesn't for me, creates a new tab.
Mine creates a new window with all my default tabs.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Mine doesn't.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. So now let my Safari in there.
You want me to add this in?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It might get a little bit weird because I said to share a window.
You shared the entire desktop, it looks like.
No, I didn't.
Well,
that's just a window.
Okay.
But I'm gonna share the entire window. It's gonna be a little bit small because I've got a giant monitor, but otherwise you won't see the effect. Present. Oh, you know what I could do? That's hard. Share screen. Let me share this giant window here. Okay. All right. So it doesn't even matter what's on here. We'll go to Podfeet here, and I'm going to hit Command N, which should create a new window, but it doesn't. It creates a new tab. And here we'll go to, let's see, my time shifter clock. All right. So you see I got two windows. Ready? You see the two of them. When I grab this and I pull it off, watch what happens. Oh, come on. It did it right.
Now it's working.
For the love of Pete. This hasn't been working for like 2 months.
Really?
Okay, Jill says no on Command N. Sandy says yes, Command N is a new window.
So I'm wondering if people have turned on, what is it? Not Center Stage, Stage Manager.
Well, I've got Stage Manager too, but this
could that have an effect on how these behave?
I don't know, but can you see that? Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see, but new window is Option Command N. I did not do that. Maybe I have to have more than two.
So do you have Stage Manager running?
I have it off right now for the live show because it caused all kinds of anarchy. So I'm going to open a bunch. Oh no, I got a new tab, and I'll do, let's see, Auphonic. Okay, so I have 3 different things. Let's see if I can break it with 3. If I pull this off, well, it pulled behind.
That's new.
That's new.
And but it's just one.
It's just one. Oh, this is killing me. Oh, it's in Spider-Man. It's Crazy Town Banana. Oh, Crazy Town Banana Pants. Now that's really crazy. Well, now I don't know what's going on, but if you go up to File, New Window, does it say Command N or Option Command N?
In the Finder?
In Safari, dear.
In Safari.
Try to keep up.
Just checking.
What do you guys think?
New Window is just Command N for me.
God, I wonder if this is one of those automation. Oh,
there's new
Mike
private.
Is seeing Option Command N.
There's a new private window.
Actually, here's the thing. This is Ventura Safari 16.1. Sandy, are you running 16.1? Mike, are you seeing 16.1? Oh, Mike says he saw Command N just a bit ago. Oh. Command N is a new tab on Mike's. Something's funny. All right. Well, I can't believe I can't replicate this. It happens all the time to me. Drives me crazy.
New tab is Command T for me.
That's what it used to be.
Command N for new window. Control Command N for new private window. I'm on Monterey.
I wonder if I did a keyboard replacement or something. Does that sound like something I might have done?
Possible.
Where is keyboard these days, do you think? Keyboard.
It's alphabetized, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Keyboard's the 3rd to the last one. Oh, actually, no, it's not 4th to last. 5th. Keyboard shortcuts. And this is in app shortcuts. No, all applications. Show help menu. No. Mail and preview. No, I have not created. It's not an app shortcut. I did not do that.
John's clarifying you meant 13.01, not 16.01.
No, I was talking about the version of Safari. 16.1. Safari, yeah. What could it be?
So
What
I'm
could
at
it be?
16.1.
It's something in Safari settings. Are there keystrokes? No, there's nothing about keystrokes in here, right? Command click opens a link in a new tab. I don't know. Isn't this weird?
Yeah.
Oh, don't look at my passwords. What were you? Stop it. Quit looking. Privacy. Websites. No. It's probably something in here. One of these crazy things, right? Advanced. All right. Well, if somebody can figure that out for me, that would be great. Well, should we let everybody go? It's 5:55.
We probably should.
I think Sienna should call me on FaceTime after this so I can talk to her directly. And Forbes. But I think we should call it.
What about Nolan?
Yes, Nolan too, but not
Nolan,
Lindsay.
Not Lindsay. Not the daughter.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you everybody for coming. This was fun. And I should kiss Rose goodbye. Goodbye, Rose. Is there anything else we need to do, Steve?
I think we are done.
Right. Cut us off. Say goodbye.
Good night, Gracie.